In today's America, identity politics is everywhere. Whether it's race, gender, or sexual orientation, these issues seem to dominate the headlines and drive conversations. But did you know that 57% of Americans feel political polarization has reached a new high in recent years? And according to a 2021 Gallup poll, nearly 70% of US adults say they regularly see issues of race and identity influencing national debates. So, what's going on? Why has something as personal as your identity become such a hot-button issue in politics? Is it really about protecting marginalized groups, or are we witnessing a shift that could change the way Americans think forever? In this video, we're going to dive into the surprising forces behind the rise of identity politics in the US. We'll explore how social media, intersectionality, and even political correctness have turned personal identity into a major battleground. Stick around, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you view the political landscape forever. Chapter 1: The Rise of Me versus We, How Identity Became the New Battlefield. At its core, modern American politics is becoming less about ideological policies and more about personal identity. Think back to the 20th century when political battles were about broader issues like taxes, defense, and healthcare. Today, however, the battle lines often revolve around who you are rather than what you believe in. This shift can be traced to the growing emphasis on individual rights and the societal push for inclusivity. In the past few decades, American politics has gone from a united front to a highly personalized me versus we mindset. Each identity group, whether based on race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion, has gained its own voice. The concept of personal identity in politics is no longer simply about voting a certain way, it's about demanding representation, validation, and policies that address specific lived experiences. What does this look like in practice? In 2020, more than 30% of American voters said they voted based primarily on their racial or ethnic identity, according to a Pew Research Center study. The identity politics shift isn't just cultural, it's electoral. Chapter 2: Echo Chambers and Social Media, Amplifying the Identity Divide. Social media is one of the biggest players in amplifying the intensity of identity politics. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram don't just connect people, they create echo chambers that amplify extreme views. Algorithms prioritize content that generates strong emotional reactions, often reinforcing identity-based ideologies. The more people interact with content that fits their worldview, the more isolated their views become from the rest of society. This creates an environment where people can become hyper-polarized, and the conversation around identity politics becomes more heated. A study from the Pew Research Center revealed that 64% of American adults get their political news from social media. But here's the kicker: a majority of this information is filtered, leading to a distorted reality for many. In these digital spaces, the difference between someone's personal experience and the larger societal view often becomes blurred. Chapter 3: The Intersectionality Explosion, A New Political Language? Intersectionality is a term you've probably heard tossed around, but what does it really mean? In simple terms, intersectionality is a framework that examines how various forms of inequality, like race, gender, sexuality, etc., intersect and create unique experiences of oppression. Coined by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989, intersectionality has reshaped the way we understand social justice. Instead of treating issues like race, gender, or class separately, intersectionality allows us to see how these issues overlap. For example, a black woman's experience in America might differ from a white woman's simply because of the racial component, not just the gender one. This nuanced approach has found its way into mainstream politics, reshaping the way we look at both public policy and activism. Politically, this has shifted the focus from broad, generalized policies to those that consider the needs of every single demographic group within a larger identity. The power of intersectionality lies in its ability to unify diverse voices into one louder, more compelling force. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to explore more deep dives into how politics, identity, and culture intersect in modern-day America. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Chapter 4: Political Correctness or Censorship. The fine line in identity politics. One of the most contentious debates tied to identity politics revolves around political correctness. Some see it as a necessary safeguard against harmful language, while others view it as an attempt to stifle free speech. Is it about protecting marginalized voices or silencing opposing ones? On one hand, political correctness has led to a more inclusive environment where people are mindful of the impact their words can have on others. A 2019 Gallup poll found that 62% of Americans believe it's important to use inclusive language that avoids offense. On the other hand, critics argue that the push for political correctness can sometimes lead to the canceling of people or ideas that don't fit into the mainstream narrative. The tension between being respectful and allowing open dialogue is real. As identity politics become more entrenched in the political scene, this line between protecting people and silencing speech will only continue to blur. Chapter 5: The Victimhood Economy. Why being oppressed is so politically valuable. In today's political climate, oppression has become a form of currency. This victimhood economy sees those who can claim the most marginalized status often holding the most political power. This phenomenon doesn't mean that people aren't oppressed, it's about how political power and public attention often hinge on one's perceived victimhood. Take, for example, the rise of activism and public attention surrounding social justice movements. Whether it's Black Lives Matter or LGBTQ+ rights, these movements have gained significant momentum because they shine a spotlight on the struggles faced by marginalized communities. But in some cases, it seems that the louder you speak about oppression, the more visibility and political power you gain. A study by the University of California found that political engagement and activism increased when individuals felt personally affected by a social issue. In a way, victimhood acts as a catalyst for mobilization, energizing movements to demand change. Chapter 6: Identity Politics and the Future of American Unity, a Path to Healing or Division. Looking ahead, where is identity politics taking America? Some believe it will ultimately lead to greater understanding and unity by forcing a more inclusive society. Others worry it may deepen divides, creating an us versus them mentality that pulls the nation apart. Historically, identity-based movements have led to real progress, think of the civil rights movement or women's suffrage. But today's political landscape seems more fractured, with people retreating into their identity silos. Whether this intensifies political polarization or fosters a new, more inclusive society remains to be seen. The reality is that we are at a crossroads. As more people fight for their place at the table, the question remains, will identity politics help us build a stronger, more unified America, or will it push us into even deeper divisions? If you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. What's your take on identity politics in America? Let's keep the conversation going.